Welcome again to week 9 of Ayurvedic habit building program. So today we're working on habit number 4, evening unwinding, and this is the implementation week. Okay, before we begin, let's do a guided presence pause and breath regulation. I request you all to gently be seated in a comfortable position and if possible, close your eyes. Let's begin by shifting our attention to our breath. Notice your breath. Remember to watch your breath just like a baby watches the world. Don't label anything as you notice each prompt. Stay with your breath. And now shift your attention to your stomach. Notice the sensations in your stomach without labeling or naming them. Now move your attention to your feet. Notice the sensations on your feet. Now observe what's running on your mind. Watch your thoughts. Now, how alert or tired do you feel in your body? How alert or tired do you feel in your body? And where do you feel it in your body? Where do you feel it in your body? Now let's move on to breath regulation. Deep inhale on the count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale on the count of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you can gently open your eyes if you had them closed. I hope you all are getting a chance to practice the presence pause at least once a day. If you're not, you can always get started anytime. Remember, maybe try doing it earlier in the day. So even if you forget earlier in the day, you can make sure you practice at least in the evening time or even before bedtime. And breath regulation also can be practiced. It only takes a few seconds. So you can do it any time of the day, even with your eyes open. So I hope you're not making excuses to practice these and have a consistent practice. And this really helps bring that bodily awareness, which is important for our program and all the shifts that we're making. Okay. And optionally, Anulom Vilom Pranayam can be practiced, say, up to 5 minutes a day. I don't know if anybody has started doing this. You can share your experience if you've how all of these habit practices are going for you. You don't have to be perfect, but if anyone can share just to inspire others too, as to how these can be incorporated and how things are working out, you're welcome to share. And even in the group chat on WhatsApp, you can share your experience on how these practices are going for you. That will help inspire other participants too. So you're always welcome to do that. And the 4 point hydration rhythm, I know many people have been telling me that they've not yet started following all the four anchors, but started with one or two and observing how it's working out for them. So you can start slow, start with one or two anchors at once, and then build on that. And early dinner, I hope you've started to accommodate dinner a little bit earlier than usual. If you're already having early dinner, that's great. And evening routines awareness is something that we spoke about last week. I hope you all got a chance to fill out the awareness form. If you haven't, you can even now go ahead and do that after the class. And it really helps bring that awareness into how you're doing your evenings right now about your current patterns, so you can know how to shift them, right? And today is our implementation week for evening unwinding. But before we move forward, let's quickly revisit what we discussed earlier about evenings and evening routines. So, both from an Ayurvedic and physiological perspective, our evenings are meant to be a transition period. Our body, give me a minute here, sorry. Sorry. So, our evenings are meant to be a transition period. Our body gradually shifts from daytime activity towards nighttime rest and repair mode. And this is our body's natural shift. But when we disturb it with stimulation that continues late into the evening, our body remains alert. Our digestion may still be active, or our mind may still keep processing information. And this disrupts our body's natural rest and repair that happens during the night. And that's why unwinding in the evening is helpful. It allows the body to gradually settle and align with its natural rhythm. And in modern day life, the stimulation usually continues until late evening, and it comes from several places, right? It comes from screens and digital exposure, work or mental activity, and stimulating conversations or content, and late physical activity or heavy or late meals. So you were asked to observe and be aware of your current patterns regarding all of these common culprits that cause evening stimulation. And each of these can keep either our mind or nervous system or the digestive system active when the body is naturally beginning to slow down. So, as we move into this implementation week, we'll begin exploring how we can reduce some of this evening stimulation and create a smoother transition into rest. Okay, so our main goal is to create a smooth transition into rest for the night. We'll focus on three main shifts today. Three main shifts. And the first one is screen and digital stimulation. Last week, we discussed how screens can keep our brain alert. Mainly two aspects of screens keep our brain alert. First is blue light, and secondly, the constant information input. So, this week, the focus is on gently adjusting how we use screens in the evening. Well, there are multiple ways you can do that. The first idea is to say, create a small buffer before bedtime. A small buffer before bedtime, say 30 minutes or 60 minutes or whatever works for you. Whatever your screen usage right now is, try to lower that. Take one small step. And this doesn't have to be perfect every night. Even doing it for a few days a week makes a difference. So, say you decide to take a 30 minutes buffer. Say, put your phone away or any screens away 30 minutes before bedtime. And in those 30 minutes, do other less stimulating activities like listening to calm music or chanting something or meditating or journaling. So that can be a goal that you set for yourself. And your goal can vary based on what your current pattern is. Don't make a drastic shift, but try something small so you can follow it easily. And notice how this change is impacting your sleep, is how it's impacting your mood overall in the next day. And slowly, with that awareness, you can increase this buffer time. And another hack that you can try is to turn on night mode or blue light filters on your phone or laptop. I don't know how many of you are familiar with this, but most phones have this night mode. If you're using an iPhone, it's accessible in settings under display and brightness. I think you can set your phone um, to a warmer tone. It's called a night mode, I think. So if you set that, your phone automatically reduces blue light in the evenings. So highly suggest doing that with any phone. Explore how you can turn on the night mode. And if you're using a laptop, there is an app called f.lux. It's called f.lux lux, and that helps turn off blue light in the evenings on your system. So these are some ways you can reduce blue light exposure. Another popular way is to use blue light glasses. I don't like, personally, it doesn't work for me because these glasses are something that you need to like adjust your eyes to. And if that means that you'd have to wear them through the day as well, and that means you're blocking blue light during the day, which is not recommended. Blue light is helpful during the day and it's not helpful during the evenings. So blue light glasses is, if it's working out for you, okay, but I personally wouldn't recommend it. Highly recommend turning on night mode on your devices though. And the third tip is to avoid highly engaging content late at night. Even if you're seeing screen, prefer content that is more calming, sorry. And any scrolling on social media, for example, it tends to keep the mind active. So help help yourself by choosing content that is more calm. And another practical idea here, if you want to limit phone usage before bedtime, is to have what's called a phone parking spot, which is away from your bed. So every time you get to bed, just put your phone away in that parking spot so that you can't reach it once you get to bed, and decide to not use your phone until the morning. So these are some ideas you can try. Again, set a goal that works for you and build up on it. The goal is to pick one small change, and even a small adjustment, that's okay. And become aware of how the shift is impacting you, and that will make it likely for you to continue to follow it. Okay. So that's about screen and digital stimulation. Next up is mental and emotional stimulation. Even when our body is physically resting in the evening, sometimes our mind can remain very active, right? Has anybody noticed this? Like, we try to sleep, many people have trouble falling asleep immediately. Their mind remains very active during the night, right? And even if we say do work related tasks in the evening, or planning for the next day, or problem solving, or engage in highly engaging conversations, all of these stimulate our mind, and we cannot put ourselves to sleep easily. So one practical step to avoid this is to set a rough mental work cutoff time, where you say, okay, after 8 p.m. or 8:30 p.m., I'm not going to do any work related stuff or any problem solving things. And another helpful practice that I do a lot of times, it really helps me, is to do a quick brain dump before bed. So if something's running on your mind, just write it down so that it gets out of your system. Write it down, or even like say record a voice memo. Um, Sometimes I record a memo to ChatGPT, and like it just helps me process it off before I go to bed, so I don't have to take it to bedtime. So even in earlier in the evening, try to finish all your stimulating activities so that by bedtime you're more calmer and your mind isn't actively thinking about anything. So that's something that you can try, and even set like a time period, say half an hour before bedtime. I don't want to do any mentally engaging activities. So that's something that you can start with. And finally, the third area that we'll focus regarding evening unwinding is physical activity. Now, exercise is extremely beneficial for health and something we absolutely want to keep in our routine, but we need to pay attention to the timing, right? When we do intense exercise, our body becomes activated. Our heart rate goes up, our body temperature rises, and the nervous system becomes more alert. Now, if this happens very close to bedtime, our body needs some time to settle down before it can move into sleep. So, the idea this week is, if you normally do intense workouts late in the evening, try moving them earlier in the day. Early evening is okay. And if you're doing exercise in the evenings, if that's the only time you can find to exercise, prefer gentler exercises like yoga or light stretching or a walk, something that really doesn't activate you a lot. Okay. And I understand that busy schedules and work routines and everything, it's not always possible to work out earlier in the day. But as I said, keep your exercise limited to very gentle exercise if you're doing it in the evening, and observe how your exercise is impacting your sleep. If you observe your current pattern, and naturally you would know that what shift is needed for you to make. Okay. So overall, the idea this week is to simply help evening become calmer. Okay. We looked at screens and digital stimulation, mental activity, and physical activity. Right. Regarding these three things, notice what your current patterns are and pick one small change related to each one of these. One small change related to screens, one small change related to calming down mentally, and one small change related to physical calming down. And if you're already following one or more of these, that's great. It becomes more easier for you to make these shifts. So, yeah, even small shifts are okay to start with, and keep your goals realistic, is what I would say. So that's it for today. That's about evening unwinding. Just to refresh what you should be following. Um, if you haven't started on working on any previous habit, you can always plan to start it anytime now. And regarding evening unwinding, just keep simple goals regarding one of these three or all of these um, three main culprits.